Have you been here?
I've not.
Look around. There's a bike through a tree. No vehicles beyond this sign. Little shed for all the wood that he chops.
Okay.
Man, wheelbarrows, tires. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there's your dad?
What's up, you big galoot? Yeah, Dad, I'm gonna have him back up here so that truck can get all the way to the garage. Look at him. You stay right there, goofball. Don't move. He's such a problem, bro. Truthfully, it's like why I put him in a mountain basin.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God. I tried to remove him from society and put him where he couldn't do any harm to anyone but himself.
What kind of problems would he create for you?
Bro, he's a liability.
Or like you're being serious?
I'm
or...
dead ass serious. Are you kidding me? You'll see today, bro. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand like normalcy and how to be cordial and respectful. He's just intense. He's an intense guy.
They don't know what the they're doing. Get out of my way. Keep going.
Why don't you just let them do their job?
No, they're doing a job.
How? Backing up a car.
Dude, don't give me any okay? I've done this a million times. I know.
So hey, who gives a
Huh?
Who gives a They're just backing up a car.
I'll say whatever the I want in my house. And guess what? For all you ass that don't like it, kiss my
Hey, Graham. You gotta see this, bro.
Okay.
This is Pete Greg Paul.
That's my 80-pound chow. And he got hit by a car and was killed instantly. And we weren't really ready to say goodbye, so we got him freeze-dried in a sleeping position. And here's the thing. If I were making the kind of money these guys are making, I would be considered eccentric. But I'm not.
What do you mean? You are eccentric, man. What are you talking about?
But check this out. When he was alive, we'd pull him around in a wagon, and everyone would pet him. And my friends would take turns pulling him around in a wagon or walking him. All the women would walk up, bend over, you'd get a boob shot, and we're just being dudes, right?
You wrote a letter back in the day before they were born, right?
Yeah.
To your like unborn child.
Correct.
Okay, tell a little about that.
So I wrote a universal letter to my unborn child so that when they were 13, 14, 15, 16, I would remember what things were like. And also for them when they're like 6 foot tall and bulletproof, you know, when you're 14, your parents are idiots and you know more than everybody. So I wrote this to give it to him at some point to be like, hey, smart ass, before you're born, I wrote this knowing you would become this.
Yeah.
So here's a letter, check this out. So at like 15, Logan was just being a cocky little So I'm like, hey, let me show you something. So I handed him the letter and it was sealed. So he reads the letter and he comes down like he comes downstairs 15 minutes later and he's like, when did you really write that? And I go, I already told you, man. And he's like, that's whacked. And he walked away. But his attitude changed. And for about a year, it had some effect.
You guys remember this?
Nope, not at all. I believe that whole story was fabricated.
Oh, come on.
I think what he just said was made up. I don't remember that. Do you remember some letter?
Yeah, I do.
Well, maybe I'm just the guy.
You guys had a heart-to-heart not too long ago where Greg was telling you about kind of the only thing he ever wanted to be in life.
I found it truthfully kind of surprising and heartwarming that when I talked to you about being a father, that to me seemed like the one thing in life that you know you wanted to do. Like that was a mission of yours and you were excited to be a dad.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you raised us so intensely and so harshly. At times, I didn't feel like that was your prerogative. I didn't know it was coming from a place of love because it didn't feel like that at all times. But to you, the idea of being a father was everything. And like, kudos to you. I say this all the time. You're 2 for 2. You've done a great job, obviously. Like the formula that you have obviously worked, but damn, son, it was tough sometimes.
What do you think you learned from him about work ethic?
Everything. I attribute almost all of my success to my dad.
Why?
You can do anything with hard work. We'd be 10 years old working 12, 14-hour days renovating a house that my dad was working on for no pay. Our pay was Wendy's for lunch. And I remember at the time, like, I hated this. Scraping gunk out of corners like 4 inches thick. I don't even know what this is. And like, he put us through the ringer. Then all of a sudden, I'm 14 years old and I'm wrestling, and my ability to endure the 2-hour workout is much greater than everyone else's. I was working that hard on something I didn't love. So when I found something that I loved, no anyone's gonna stop me.
I literally had parents tell me, what are you doing after your kids work? What are you doing after your kids, cut the grass? I'd be like, shut the up, your kid's a pansy ass, and it's true. Parents are afraid to be parents. And parents think like kids, they give them more value than they really deserve. You're 13, you don't know, shut the up.
I think he lives in pretty much solitude now at the ranch.
I have to. This is strategic, Graham. I swear to God, it's strategic. I put Greg Paul in the center of a mountain basin away from everyone in society so it doesn't piss anyone off.
A place you own on 80 plus acres in California. How does he help you on the ranch now?
He's my groundskeeper, man. When we were young, my dad would joke. He'd say, when you guys get older, you're gonna be rich and famous, and you're gonna buy me a plot of land, and I'll be the groundskeeper. I don't know what the he meant. Then all of a sudden, I bought this ranch, and I was able to make our childhood dream come true. Probably one of my proudest things. Having my dad work for me at my ranch kind of salvaged our relationship.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how so?
I have not always been the most communicative with either of my parents, but now there's a dialogue that has to occur and have a reason to communicate with his son.
The nearest neighbor behind us is 20 miles away. Nearest neighbor in any direction around here is 5 miles away.
All right, so walked up today and we see this. You want to read it?
Hello, if we didn't answer the door, it doesn't mean we're not around. Someone's always around. If you're reading this, you've been filmed or on camera at least 5 times. There's nothing worth trying to break in or steal in the house. All the vehicles aren't GPS trackers. Feel free to get water from the freshwater horse trough. We hope you choose to live a long and healthy life. Yeah, because the Pacific Crest Trail goes behind here and hikers come by every now and then. And, if anybody should get crazy and decide they want to come here, I want to give them fair warning. I want to know they're being filmed. And I don't ever want to hurt anybody, but I also don't want to be a victim.
So what do you like about living here?
It's beautiful. Every sunrise is different. Every sunset is different. Weather's constantly changing. There's a lot of freedoms. The horses are beautiful. That brown one is Charlie, and the other one is Eugene. Charlie, Eugene, come here, buddy. That'll go, boy. I'm actually here longer than I thought I was supposed to be because I'm trying to make the property turnkey for Logan, so that if anything goes wrong, like for example, the with the solar, Logan wouldn't be able to fix it. You can't call anybody to get it. So I'm trying to make it so like that doesn't happen, and it takes time. And that's the funny thing. Logan thinks he put me here. I came here because I knew nobody else could do what I'm doing. I mean, there's a lot of, like for example, I did that pond. Logan wanted another pond, so I rented some heavy equipment, dug it out. And what's cool about this is that this water source is coming from those pipes right there. I noticed an area on the side of the mountain over here on our property that was constantly green. I'm literally digging around and I found a really wet spot. So I dug a little deeper, more water came up. So I took 30 sandbags and I built a dam, and next day I came back and there's water in it. I bought 500 feet of landscaping, this black pipe, and ran the hose down to here, and it slowly kept filling it up, filling it up, filling it up.
And what were the bids you were getting?
Okay, so we had one bid for $500,000, and then we had another guy who wanted $1.1 million, but he still didn't have a water source. So I came up with this water source. I rented heavy equipment, hired a buddy of mine, and for 28 grand, we dug this out. I cut in 4 miles of trails around the property and saved Logan a lot of money. And we have fish in there, and in the summer, the pond is super clear. There's all kinds of grass and stuff growing. It's beautiful. The porch used to end right where the pole is, and Logan wanted a wood deck here. And all my research and talking to everybody said, you don't want a wood deck. Rattlesnakes will live under it, gophers. The weather's really hard on it, put a cement deck. So I ended up getting bids and $48,000 to put a wood deck here. So I actually contacted a cement guy, and I dug everything out for them. I helped them put in forms. They poured it. I built that porch. And then over there's a bridge that crosses that seasonal creek. I did this and that for $22,000. Somebody wanted 48 just to build a wood deck, not including the upper part, and not including the walkway, the bridge.
Yeah.
So, and if I weren't here, whoever would be doing it would be charging him a ton of money.
Right.
And I don't know, I don't like the idea that somebody's charging him because they know it's Logan.